Pastor disrupted a Wake County School Board meeting, calling out district leaders and refusing to leave. This comes after a high school student told the board that she was uncomfortable reading and discussing a passage in class that she described as incestual.
Say her name. Justice for Lorena Benson. I can't, sir.
At this point, sir, I must instruct you to leave.
Sir.
Vocal about his conservative views, Pastor John Amanchukwu challenges school boards across the country.
You are breaking the law.
He refused to leave the podium after his 3 minutes for public comment were up during the Wake County School Board meeting.
You should be removed.
The school board chairman called it a publicity stunt.
This graphic, ancestral sexual language should not be taught in any class, much less an honors English class. I am deeply bothered and deeply disappointed.
District officials declined an on-camera interview, citing privacy laws for students and personnel. However, they say they're evaluating the appropriateness of the assignment.
A few moments later.
Could you imagine your 15-year-old daughter coming to the school board and reading a message and telling the board that she feels traumatized because she was forced to read a pornographic book? I mean, can you imagine?
He sees nothing wrong with this. He sees nothing wrong with it.
It's just sad. It's just sad. You can arrest me, sir. Justice for Lorena. Justice! Let everybody, I'll leave. Let me, one thing. Let everybody be sure and know this. Yes, watch this. They are kicking me out. You see how he's grabbing me? But he won't grab a book though. He won't remove these school board leaders. He'll grab my arm, but he won't remove a book. And he has kids in this district. What a shame.
You know what?
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit y'all another video. Hope y'all having a very great day. Hope y'all having a very great weekend. My day is going absolutely marvelous. Big shout out to all the channel members and subscribers of the Trey King Show family. And much love to each and every last one of you all. And you all, we have a story out of North Carolina by way of Raleigh. And big shout out to everybody in the great state of North Carolina. Everybody outside the great city of Raleigh. Now, before I start the story, I want to send a special thank you out to my channel members and also to my subscribers for sending me this story. And also, keep these stories coming. And yes, you all know today is Saturday, but guess what? This story right here is really upsetting, and it goes to show you the way that our country is going. And it also shows you that you must stand up and be accounted for. And also, you must stand for what's right, because some of these people, these devils, have lost their rabbit ass mind. Let's just start off just like that. Now, look here. I know I've been gone a while, but guess what? Your boy is back. I had a lot of things going on in my life. You know, like we all do. But at the same time, I am never too busy, like that song by Kenny Lattimore, to bring you all this smoke. But anyway, we have this story out of North Carolina, but we have a pastor who was arrested for standing up and doing what's right. Now, I know rarely do we come across that on the Trey King Show, because as you all may know, for the last 8 years, I have been slaying these pastors. But those pastors were doing wrong. But this pastor, Pastor John, that's his name, was trying to do the right thing, and a man got arrested. And Pastor John, I want to personally thank you for standing up for this 15-year-old girl who go by the name of Lorena Benson and basically stating the truth, even though those people at the school board did not want to hear the truth. Now, what's so really upsetting about this story is the fact that you have these schools in certain states. I don't think every state do this. I know North Carolina is one of them. And also, I think Minnesota and also California. Now, look, North Carolina have reading material in their schools where these children are forced, and some of them are asked, to read these books out loud. And the books be about homosexuality and also be about incest and also very graphic in nature, detailing sex. Now ask yourself this, why in the hell would kids need to be learning about this in school? Some of these kids don't even know how to wipe themselves yet. And you all have the nerve to sit up here and want to try to sexualize these children. But at the same time, this is why I tell you all the time, go to these schools, talk to your children, and also see what kind of studies that they are involved in. And you will see, just because they're reading, that don't mean that they are reading things that would benefit them later on in life. Because no way in hell should these children be reading about sex. Now, 15-year-old Lorena Benson just moved from the Dominican Republic to North Carolina. And what a world of a change that is. Now, you would think that since America's supposed to be so civilized, but we done lost our damn minds in this country, but you would think that the fact that America was quote unquote civilized at once upon a time, that it would still be this way. but you expect something like this from a foreign country. But guess what though, family? Those foreign countries are not allowing this type of mess in their school. And now Lorena Benson was forced to read a graphic material out loud, and it was really upsetting to her and also traumatized her. And that's why the pastor came to the school board meeting to speak out for Lorena Benson. And what a shame that the school board would sit up here trying to say that the pastor, yes, Pastor John that is, was doing this for a publicity stunt.
During the Wake County School Board meeting,
It should be removed.
the school board chairman called it a publicity stunt.
Justice for Lorena Benson.
As if someone wanted or needed publicity for speaking out the truth. But at the same time, the school board also had the nerve to call the pastor wrong. And now let me ask you all this, family. Who do you think is right or wrong? And we already know the answer, because if you've been watching me, chances are most likely you got morals and principles. So let me ask you all this, even though we already know the answer. Do you think the pastor was wrong? Or do you think the school board is wrong for upholding this mess? And also, why is this mess even allowed in the school? And now look, I know some of y'all are wondering to yourself, well, Trey, what in the Sam hell was this 15-year-old girl reading out in class? And look here, you better grab your pearls and also a glass of gin, because this one is going to be hard to swallow. Now imagine yourself having to sit up in your classroom in front of all these other students, and this is something that you're not used to. But at the same time, you're having to do this and also being forced to. And now here's what the story has to say, family, as you often see at the bottom. It says, it was not the summer you fell in love with your cousin Dozy, because that happened a few summers before when you both wiggled into the space behind grandma's garage. What kind of mess is that? And then it goes on to say, and he tried to fit what you both call his banana into what you both call your tomato. And also goes on to say, neither of you was sure which was the right hole. So dang, what you mean which was the right hole? So you sit up here telling these children about bananas and tomatoes, and also you don't know if it's the right hole or not. So guess what? If they don't know it's the right hole, chances are they don't need to be having sex. But at the same time, this is what they had that 15-year-old girl reading out in class. And also some more things, but I don't want to make the story too long. Now you would ask yourself, why in the hell are they pushing this on our children? Whatever happened to trying to teach these kids how to grow up to be productive human beings? But like I told y'all a few videos back, ever since they took God out of the school, guess what they replaced it with? With sin, with the devil. So at the same time, you got to ask yourself, look here, why did we allow this? Why do we allow this? Because we have the power. We have to demand and take the power back, because there's no way in hell that we want our children going to school reading this type of mess. Now also in the state of North Carolina, they passed the Senate bill, and the Senate bill was called Senate Bill 49, where they allow this type of reading material. And the only children that is could not hear this was children between kindergarten and also to the 4th grade. But guess what though? If your child is the 5th grade or higher, your child is allowed to read and hear this type of mess. So ask yourself today, do you think this is the right thing? And also, why are they pushing this agenda? And then when people speak out, like the school board want to say, they want to call you wrong instead of calling what they're doing is wrong. But it says that in the book of Revelations in the last days that what was once considered wrong is considered right now. And that's the world we live in. But guess what though? To people out there who have children, check on your children, and at the same time, talk to your children and ask them what exactly is going on in these schools, because they are trying to change your children. And then got the nerve to want to get mad when you stand on business, when you sit up here and correct them. But at the same time, I noticed in the other part of the video where the cop was standing beside the preacher, and the preacher was basically telling the cop, look, you have children. How would you feel if that was your children having to do this?
He won't remove these school board leaders. He'll grab my arm, but he won't remove a book. And he has kids in this district. What a shame.
You know,
But I know at the same time, the cop had a job to do. But you got to understand this right here. At what point do you put your job to the side and also stand for what's right? Now, look, I know the cop is not guilty. I know the cop was just doing his job. But at the same time, the preacher was in the right. And also, if you got a job where you got to sit up here and go against your morals and values just to get a paycheck, chances are you might need to find another job. Because if you don't stand up now, guess what? It's going to get worse later. And the only people going to pay is your children. Now, it's a damn shame that we got people trying to sexualize our children and have them reading this type of reading material when clearly this has nothing to do with their development or whatnot. Because out of all these books, like Lorena Benson dad said, you had thousands of books Why did you all chose to read this to these children?
Lorena Benson's father, Bruce Benson, agrees.
There's thousands and thousands of great books that could be taught to kids. Why does the school system and the teachers have to go out of their way to teach content that is so clearly over the line?
Why did you all chose to push this type of agenda on these children? And parents, you must stand up because they're trying to take your rights away, and they don't want you to say anything regarding your children's safety or their upbringing. They basically want to take the power away from you. But at the same time, it takes people like Pastor John and also people like myself and also other bloggers and other people who are standing up to this type of mess. Because the more you stand down, guess what? The more they're going to take away from you. So you have to stand up. But shame on the school board for saying that the pastor did this for a publicity stunt. And also, the pastor was wrong when clearly we could see that the pastor was in the right. But anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. If there's anything I may have missed or misinformed, please let me know in the comments section. Or you can email me and we can talk about it more there. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Also, share the video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all stay blessed, and I will see y'all soon on the next Trey King Show. And guess what? I'm out.